And welcome, folks, back to AEL Uni. We've got the playoffs here today between RMIT, Left Right Good Night, going up against UQ Ultimate Chads. I'm Kadius, joined here on the casting desk with Ares. How are we doing for tonight?
Very good, very good. It's seemed like we had a good day of weather. Not that I got to enjoy it. Goddamn, a game in hours, gaming, chilling routine, just playing some Dota today. But apart from that, it's been a good day so far. How's yours been?
Oh yeah, no, definitely pretty good. Star Wars Visions came out, this weekend, so I've been binging that a little bit. But definitely, we are just waiting right now for the teams. Looks like we are good to get underway. So this is going to be an exciting one. But this is, the playoffs. We're finally here. This is going to be two teams that are, so close to the finish line, so close to being able to, get down to the grand finals and win the whole thing. But that means that, there's more on the line than ever. And obviously one of the teams that we've got here, UQ Ultimate Chads, finalists in both the second season of 2020 and the first season of 2021. So definitely the team to watch in this set. But, also Left Right Good Night been showing themselves to be promising contenders as well.
Yeah, definitely. We got the opportunity to watch Left Right Good Night last week, I believe it was, where we saw them take a 2-0 victory. Was very impressed with their position one's performance. It felt like through a lot of the games he had a solid showings here, and we'll see if that's going to continue up against, like you said, UQ Ultra Chads, and their own position one is goddamn Garchi. Now we can't. The players in the pre-game lobby were kind of boosting his ego a little bit for a pre-warning before you verse him, or if you come across him in your pubs, you can't boost this man's ego. All right, I don't know what it is. Just can't boost the ego, because he's gonna get this god complex, and he'll just run over games. He'll go like 18-0. I mean, I've seen him do it in multiple OEDL tournaments. So Left Right Good Night, they're gonna be cautious here.
Certainly. Well, looking at the bans here, Coddle and Dark Willow taken off the board, as well as Abaddon and Nightstalker, and it's going to be a Vengeful Spirit. First lock-in for Left Right Good Night Esports. Definitely a hero that is no stranger to the current meta.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. Now, we did see a new patch come out as well really recently. It was about maybe 2 hours ago by now. Venge, slight nerf, really nothing, just the agility gain reduced from 3.4 to 3.2, but I think it's going to be exciting to see how often we still see the Venture Spirit, at least for UQ Ultra Chads. They're going to a bit of an interesting opener. The Lion Jakiro, more than likely going to be the double support duo, so it won't have a lot of flexibility in regards to how they can play with the rest of their three picks, but at least the heroes they have currently, a lot of magical damage, some stuns to combine with. Lion can scale pretty well into the late game. Jakiro gives a little bit of team fight. They're both more Jakiro can shove out lanes a little bit easier than the Lion, but at least the nice thing about these two heroes is they do have a lot of magic damage.
Yeah, definitely. And Bane being locked in here as well. One of the supports that did get hit a little bit in general is, the early damage in, things like the Brain Sap, like Nightmare, going to be a little bit lower than previously, but, still a hero that, does his job at making one hero's life very miserable. Actually, let me take a look over here at the select, the reminder. But definitely Lion and Jakiro, interesting heroes. I do like Jakiro. I think I've seen Jakiro do quite well recently. What about you?
I don't like the hero, but that's okay. I don't think he's very good right now in the meta, but I think he's a fun hero to play. If you can perform at another level, that's a different question. So
certainly,
it has been a lot of comfort though through. It's a hero that I've seen a decent amount through like multiple seasons of AEL. Like some teams just have heroes they're a lot more comfortable on, and even if they're not really in the meta, they're okay with just going for these heroes because, some of these players, it might not be their sole focus on really learning, experimenting, and widening their hero pool, and you just want comfort in a game like this. So I believe Pondos is their 5, and if I'm correct, I've also remember seeing him play the Jakiro. So it's just a hero that is very comfortable and something that they like. It's fascinating that you actually pick the Bane into the Jakiro. I think any long-range stuns, Ice Path being one of them, is a great way to cancel the Fiend's grip from afar.
Yeah, I mean, that certainly does make sense. We're seeing things like the Lifestealer get banned out here. Obviously, Rage, not the most fun spell to play against if you are the Lion Jakiro
10
duo,
seconds remaining.
as well as that Slark, Dark Pack doing similar things,
5 seconds remaining.
as well as Juggernaut. Actually, they're just banned out pretty much all three position ones that have a very easy time dealing with hard crowd control out of the supports, I suppose.
Yeah, just get rid of, which is kind of interesting that they banned the Jug and Lifestealer. I mean, I understand the thought process why, because you've got a lot of magic damage with your first two picks. But I think Lion against anyone that relies on not being controlled, the Jug and the Lifestealer, because their toolkit is revolved around having a built-in BKB, gives you a huge one up on them. The fact that Lion can jump in and get the insta hex, so you can kind of play your on its head there, but they're just maybe protecting this Conquer to be picked up. So, which is a hero that he suffers a lot more versus the Jug and the Lifestealer, because he doesn't have that instant control, whereas Lion can play around it. So, yeah, maybe looking to protect this pick here and potentially their 18th at the moment. It's also something that I imagine I coming into this draft, I highlight that I was a huge fan of how Chylon Kwa was able to play for Left Right Goodnight last time we saw them, and maybe just putting a little bit more emphasis on banning out some of his heroes.
Well, that's going to be Underlord, the position 3, more than likely here for Left Right Goodnight. And Kunkka, and as you mentioned, obviously Kunkka having a little bit more of a difficult time against those Juggernaut Lifestealer sort of heroes, because, you know, X marks the spot, not exactly the most instant of crowd control tools. Tiny getting banned out as well by Left Right Goodnight was one of the heroes that saw a few nerfs. The cooldown on his tree grab got increased at level 1, and the damage on his toss got lowered as well. So a little bit of, you know, a hit to the mid tiny that we've seen a few times in the tournament, in the group stage especially. But Phantom Assassin actually getting locked in here by Left Right Goodnight. Okay,
so maybe they're just like, you know, they've gotten rid of a lot of the heroes Chylon Kwa favors potentially. Let's pick up the PA. It's a hero that we don't see as often, but you've already got nice synergy with the Wave of Terror to amplify a lot of your physical damage burst potential. Lion Jakiro, absolute food for the Phantom Assassin. We'll see what the answer is going to be in regards to their offlane hero, and an axe will be picked up, something that if it is Donka playing the axe, he has a lot of confidence on. I always forget if Donka was at 2 or at 3. I believe he is at 3, if I remember correctly. So this will, and he's very comfortable on the axe as well. Even though it's a hero we don't see as often, you know, him combined with a Lion or a Jakiro is a pretty strong lane.
Yeah, certainly. It also does have that, you know, random factor of being able to get the Blade Mail taunt late game, and PA just one-shots herself. That's always fun. But yeah, no, PA is picked up here, and one of the heroes that did get a bit of a buff to her shard this patch, actually, that came out today. The Fan of Knives reduced from 20 to 15 seconds, which is an interesting one. It could mean that PA is, picked up as kind of filling that break role, as having the ability to cast an AoE break in teamfights every 15 seconds. Because 20 seconds, you know, you can only really maybe get that off like once a fight, unless the fight goes very long. But 15 seconds, you know, then it becomes much more feasible to be able to cast it twice in a fight. So definitely an interesting one. I'd be curious to see if, you know, PA is picked up to counter a lot of the heroes that, you know, typically do rely on their passives like the Bristlebacks in future in the position 1 role.
Yeah, it's not even just that as well. It's the fact that the ability has a crap load of damage on it. Any percent damage is huge against a tanky hero. And the Fan of Knives is 16% of the victim's max health. So that is another huge beneficial factor of why we might see this hero a little bit more. Because, like you said, there's not even a whole lot of Ag Shards. So there's not a whole lot of breaks, I should say, that are available. Now, I think they're slowly starting to get rid of them. So we'll see if PA's someone that will rise in popularity. But in regards to the last phase picks, we're looking for a carry for Gachi and a 2. is for Lincolns.
Dire team ban.
Yeah, it does look like that's being what's taken out here. Outward Devourer. Gonna be the last couple of bans, as well as Void Spirit, targeting the mids, and then Necrophos and Viper actually taken away by UQ Ultimate Chads.
Huh. Necro's an interesting one. Let's see, what are they go for the brew? What's going on here? What are they putting mid? Is this a brew mid? I know I saw it at least earlier in the AEL. I don't believe it was. I think it was your old mate that Reem was playing it actually with the brew mid.
I believe so.
I mean, it could just be the Underlord versus the Conquer mid. Seems like a pretty good matchup. Go PA, Bane, Brew, Venge. But I feel like Venge is, I think, much better as a 3 right now with the farm priority. UQ looking for a matchup to go versus the PA. They don't have late game, so you need a win condition right now. Jug, Slark, Life still a banned out. Could think about Morphling. Into Underlord, it's a bit 50-50. You have a range support as well, so you can't really go ranged yourself is the carry. Troll is not the greatest versus the Underlord control. The Bane and Venge are annoying. They do more. Okay. I mean, it's definitely not the... I mean, it's a pretty good morph game, honestly. Against the Brewmaster, you can just avoid him. Thought the Underlord might be a bit annoying because if he wants to, he can go Spirit Vessel. The Pit and the Pit along with the Firestorm is frustrating to play into as well. But looks like we got Pondos on the Axe, Dunker playing the Conquer. This also could be the lane slopping just because they are playing with a sub. So they still might naturally be Dunker their position 3, if I remember correctly. But of course, this game, they don't have that capability.
Certainly. So, I mean, UQ Ultimate Chads potentially might be a shaky game 1 here with this sub, but that could also, even up as we head into our second game, as this is a best of 3 series. We are in the knockout stage now. There will be a winner and a victor. No ties to be taking place here, unlike the group stage. It's going to be some exciting stuff, but before we hop into this game, Ares, if we want to quickly mention our wonderful sponsors once more that are bringing us this knockout stage.
Yes, definitely. Just got to let me get that one up real quick. I mean, you're seeing how important they've been through all the seasons so far. I mean, they've played such a tremendous role in making this possible. And of course, without the sponsors, and it'd be very difficult to be able to run a tournament like this, and all the players to be able to come together. So a big shout out to them. But starting off, we've got Chatime, which is the fastest growing iced tea franchise in Australia, with over 120 Chatime tea breweries with a commitment to quality ingredients. AOC is a global leader in monitor display technology. For more than 50 years, AOC has delivered an exceptional viewing experience to millions of loyal customers. Indomie noodles are made from carefully selected ingredients with the best quality flour and fresh spices from the natural resources of Indonesia. And then Rig develops headsets delivering superior audio for competitive gamers and streamings at all levels. And we are up and underway here for our game 1. We should have the bounties up pretty shortly as well. And I'm excited to see kind of the battle of the position 1s here. Garchi versus Shylon Kwa. I think are going to be a huge reason why either team will take this.
Yeah, certainly will be. And I mean, Morphling definitely a bit of an interesting hero here into the PA, because PA has some incredible burst damage, and obviously Gachimuchi Champ going to be able to survive that with the strength shift. But if he has a little bit too much agi and he gets caught out there, gets hit by once PA does get that basher, is able to maybe get a stifling dagger stun, blinks in, just explodes him. So Morphling is going to have to play this one very, very conservatively. Going to be interesting to see exactly how that kind of position 1 dynamic is going to be played out, but already getting a little bit aggressive here on the side of the Lion.
More often is actually the the opposite. It's quite often Bane favored over the Phantom Assassin. The PA, if you've got maybe an item and a half advantage over the Morphling, then you do offer a high threat. But the beautiful thing about being low agi is because you have a crap load of armor, and that is all Phantom Assassin. So, wait, I'm watching Slain and Lion right now. They're duking it out. It's like no one will come out victorious at the moment, but yeah, PA is a lot of physical damage. So if Morphling is all agi, you're going to have a high amount of armor, which quite often enough is enough to survive through the burst. And it gets to a stage where Morphling will more than likely go for the E-Blade build, which is great versus Squishy PA to burst her through. Again, bottom lane, looks like first blood will be picked up as Slain on the Bane. Claim it.
Yeah, that's going to be Slain picking up first blood there. Qilong Kwa doing his most. You know, applying those stifling daggers, getting the slows down. Absolutely love this cheese emote that Bane has. Probably one of my favorite emotes in the game.
Yeah, it's frustrating to play into. You see this man just taunting around. Got the Frances music top. Gotcha.
Tofu getting very, very low, but kill with the great magic missile, able to get him off for now. Position 3, a little bit of space.
How? So this is really greedy having a vengeful. Quite often we've seen this hero just only go Aghanims. Like maybe Brown Boots Medallion Ags or Treads straight Medallion Rush. Some fours are a little bit different with like their first item into Ags, and I want to see how Chill plays it on the Venge this time. It looks like he's got the urn queued up, so potentially going to go into a Spirit Vessel, which is a lot more heavier of a commitment than like the Medallion or the urn, then into the Aghanim. So we'll see if he really wants to go all out, because just that extra little bit of gold, or what is it? Let's take a look. The urn's only 840, and then so it's extra 2,000 gold pretty much just to pick up the vessel instead of the urn, which is 2 components of the Aghanims, and that's a very, very key item. That's why people are picking the Venge, honestly, just for that. Mid lane. Screw might go down here, and he will dunk it. A big solo kill to pick up on the Conquer. He's got level 4, about to be level 5, and if he can close on the 6, then he'll have a lot of kill threat here with the Brewmaster. So a great start for the Conquer in the mid lane.
Definitely is Dunker, just doing standard Conquer things, abusing Brewmaster's maybe not as strong laning phase as one would like. Definitely a hero that comes online once he does have that primal split available. And before then, Kunkka has a little bit of leeway to just bully
Up lane.
Champ getting dropped quite low. Pop the strength shift to give himself a little bit of health to work with. Sloth Tofu getting chased down with these auto attacks. Very low indeed. Chill OCE goes in with the magic missile onto Gachimuchi Champ. He's going to be able to get out with his life, but a quick and easy solo kill for the side of this dire safe lane. Meanwhile, in the bottom side, Slain. Like he might get slain. Does have to watch out, but no, he is going to get out of there nice and healthily. Spamming those cheese wheels.
How is this bot lane looking at the moment? 12-1 compared to the 19-9, so Pondos is having a incredible time on the Executioner. Fortunately, is not going to find the call on top of the creep wave, but we'll see if he opts for the rush in the Vanguard, or if he's going to just hold the Ring of Health into the phase boots. But this is a lane where I wouldn't mind the Axe start to cut the wave and put a lot of pressure underneath the tier 1 tower with early dives.
Tower is under attack.
The Axe is a bit of a cheeky character when it comes to playing behind the enemy wave.
Dire's turret has been killed.
Getting under the tower, but Pondos' courier is actually going to get sniped up there. Is a little bit sad, very devastating. Let's grab himself the wand. Coded Binary landing a 2-man Earth Spike though. Slain is going to finish him off with a well-placed Brain Sap. Now Ponda is going to be the one caught in between 2 heroes, trying to chase them down.
Oh.
Maybe not quite enough damage.
First,
Dunker tried to solo kill CZ as well in the middle lane here. Looked like he dropped the boat for that. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough damage to kill off the Brewmaster. Just the one charges giving him enough survivability. I think he just brought the raindrop off, considering we still see... Ooh, it's going to be a bit of a long pause. We got a PC restart, maybe even an internet restart as well. So someone's internet's going no bueno right now.
Definitely not, but one thing about Underlord that I do like in this game is that obviously Brewmaster, once he does get level 6 and wants to get the Primal Split, is probably just going to be running around the map, fighting with that Primal Split once it's available. And Underlord, I would say, is a position 3 that does love just kind of going mid and sitting mid and just clearing the wave. He does do that very, very well, just dropping that Q down onto the creeps. And then when he does do that, obviously you were talking about Venge, farming up that Aghanim is very important. It's going to give her, that top lane, hard lane, kind of to herself in a way if she doesn't end up grouping with the team to farm up this Aghanims pretty quickly.
Yeah, we'll see if that's going to be the case or not, though, just because I don't think PA will have a bottom lane very shortly. I believe Dunk is going to make his next rotation down to bottom, and I think if you get a kill on PA and force her to the jungle, then your game gets a whole lot easier. I mean, the issue with PA is that you don't farm the jungle fast, so if you have a really bad lane, there's no real catch-up for a Morphling. All you need is Morbid Mask, and you can just play maxed out Agi, and you will at least do it at a decent rate. Yes, it's not something like even a Conquer with Tidebringer, but someone like, the Monkey King with maxed out Primal Spring, or when we were seeing the Clinks for a while, when a Burning Barrage, or Sven with the Cleave. It's just not that same caliber of flash farming. So I really want to see Dire put a lot of pressure on getting PA into the jungle as early as possible. And when PA's in the jungle, then she'll soon recognize that I need a lane. I can't take the jungle, so she's going to want to occupy top. And this will be the big issue with Radiant's lineup, is that you can only make plays every 140 seconds on Primal Split. I tell you what, that's a super long time. And Brew is a hero who doesn't do anything until you get Aghanims. Like, this is very similar to the Venge, that this hero just, all he does is play around his Primal Split charges with the Aghanims. We saw this hero a decent amount be picked up as the position 3. He's kind of fallen off a little bit more now, but it was like the Urn into Midas and then into Aghanims, because his late game is really strong, but his first 17 minutes is atrocious, and that is pretty much the same for all of Radiant's heroes. And I feel like there could be about a 4,000 net worth lead probably 14 minutes into this game.
Yeah, certainly. PA, definitely a hero who can't jungle very well unless you do go down the Battle Fury route, which does have its good games and its bad games for sure. But do you think this is a game where PA can afford to farm into, the hyper late game? Or do you think Morphling and Conquer just will become too much for her if things get too late?
I think you have to. I think there is no other build than Battle Fury on Phantom Assassin. That's a big issue because of how expensive Battle Fury is. That's why we see a lot of heroes right now that are Battle Fury carriers are not good. AM, PA, Troll example.
Yeah, and then the position ones that typically are Battle Fury carriers of some degree that can go Maelstrom are just taking Maelstrom instead, like Juggernauts.
Yeah, even then, like, the Jug is a hero who doesn't feel as strong right now. There's big issues that these heroes can get kited exceptionally easy. So, I mean, I don't even think PA's got a free late game. You've got an instant stun in the line. You've got a Blink Dagger that you've got to be worried about from Axe, which will pierce BKB. So he's always going to have difficult fights. You're up against a Morphling that has a lot of armor, difficult to burst down, especially it's going to look like Morphling will probably have an item advantage this game, so you'll never have an opportunity to really kill him unless he's super caught off guard or makes a mistake on Garchi. So it's grim. I mean, he's getting bodied down bot by the Axe, and they have to use Primal Split next down bot to make amends of how bad this lane's going. Otherwise, it's going to get really bad, really worse soon.
Hopefully things do change around when Shilong Quad does hit this level 6. Coup de Grace coming online very shortly. A lot of burst there when you combine it with the Brain Sap from Slain.
Yeah, it is still the question though if Dire are able to execute at a timing they might be looking for. Like Dunker is what's he got coming out? I think Phase from the Conker. Maybe Armlet if he wants to go into that. I wouldn't hate like a Shadowblade Rush instantly picking up an early Silver's Edge. It's great versus the Underlord, the Phantom Assassin. I mean, even Venge has got a passive as well that you wouldn't hate getting rid of, or the Aura, so we'll see how they want to play it. But Pondos, he's got his Vanguard already, and you're just going to see him start to cut the wave, and we're now PA. This is where I'd like to see them dive. If you bring that rotation through from the Conker, maybe have the position 5 take mid, or maybe the Morphling take mid, so it doesn't seem as obvious, but Morphling can just lane now solo versus the Underlord. You know, the Morphling is a great hero.
Teleporting down to the bottom lane here. Axe maybe biting off a little more than he can chew. The Earthspike comes through from Coded Binary to get him a little bit of space, but tries to turn around with the Torn onto Qilonghua. The damage not quite there.
Yeah, so they got to play around the Axe. He's probably their strongest hero with Vanguard, and they are leaving him on an island there. So a death that shouldn't have occurred. The fact that but there's the primal split usage. I said you had to go down bot and make amends of how this lane has been going previously. Meanwhile, Chill is just getting a little bit of gold and experience mid, so he's going for the Spirit Vessel. So they feel like this is going to be the way to deal with the Morphling. They don't want to go ultra late, or hope that he doesn't go maybe a Manta first, and it looks like he's got the E-Blade Lincolns queued up. So Gachi will have some issues with the Spirit Vessel. That's going to be their big condition to kill him.
Certainly will. Chill has to watch out here. Obviously, you know, Venge, definitely a hero who becomes much more useful when they get swap available. See if that's the case. Looks like that stack was successful. Very sad. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Qilonghua does have to be careful here, being surrounded by 3 heroes, all by her lonesome. They do go in. X marks the spot, is going to be the first one to connect into the torrent. In comes the ship, but a great blink is going to get her out to safety and not get stunned up. Nightmare used on the Kunkka to buy a little bit more time. Qilonghua just trying to chase this Axe around the streams. Culling Blade looming, though. Has to watch out to not get a little bit lower right here. She is in Culling Blade range now. X marks the spot. Into Torrent should do the trick. The stun is there. One more auto attack does it. And Dunker picking up a nice little kill onto the position 1 of Left Right Good Night.
Yeah, meanwhile, you see what's happening across the map. Gachi's 1v2ing heroes at the top lane. So this is just showing how beautiful of a pick the Morphling is. And meanwhile, you've got Soy making some stacks and also getting the cleanup farm across the map. Everything going very well for the side of UQ.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Dunker grabbing himself a DD rune. Hopefully we'll get quite a bit done with that. You see Gachimuchi Champ doing up his E-Blade now.
Middle lane. Gotta lead with the Hex. Need that instant stun. Line's in trouble now.
Line gets hit by the stun. Primal split. Enough damage there for CZ to finish him off. Meanwhile, here comes the rest of the gang. DD on this Kunkka. They do have to be careful.
Well, very good use of the primal split. Pick up a kill wherever you can. Means CZ's in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, this map has definitely been split in the favor of this Dire side. We can look down this bot side jungle. So much vision, and they are just sieging the middle lane right now. As a team, looking to make a pick. X marks the spot, connects onto Slain into the torrent. So much damage here from this Kunkka at the moment. The auto attacks whittling away this Bane, and it will probably be enough. Does Nightmare himself try and deal with the damage? Actually does end up living to see another day. Soy can end up going down to Chill and Sloth with some great rotations.
They gotta take the stack now. Yeah, Sloth's gonna do that, so very nicely done. Still, the map completely unscathed for the side of Dire. They've got all their tier 1s left standing. Gachi's free farming and finds the possessed actually even finds the neutral item for the life steal. Forgot the name of it. It is Possessed Mask. So just the map. They had about a 3k lead, so it's dropped down to 2k, but it's still with... Wait, what's happening here?
I know Pondo's just very lost by the looks of things on his grand adventure around the map.
It's a bit of a heavy dive to make when you're about 300 gold away from Blink, 400 gold, but poor man's gonna just be that much further. Code of Binary, he also needs some levels right now. I presume Jakiro was the one to pick up the tome, so then playing around mid, I don't know if killing the Underlord is that easy of a task. We'll see with the Hood.
Yeah, Hood doing its best to keep him alive, but it looks like they're gonna have enough CC to keep him in the macro pyre for him to end up going down. And now again, they are moving towards this mid lane tier 1, looking to bring it down. Glyph is there. We'll see if it allows enough time for the rest of this left, right, good night team to rotate. It looks like they're just going to give it away.
Well, I did say 4k at 14 minutes in, and well, they're there now at 13:20, so a little bit earlier than I was expecting, but they might even get another kill here on Slain if Dunker can just reach him on the X, which he can.
Hits him with the torrent. So is there. Try and peel the best he can, but fortunately not. Is going to get hit by the Culling Blade.
Just have to play away from the Brewmaster when he has ulti. Just kite this, and then whenever it's on cooldown, I have to worry about nothing at all. I mean, it might even get to a stage where now Primal Split's not even something you're worried about. Chanqua should be okay. But they're going to see him TP pretty soon. They've got all the vision advantage down bot, so they more than likely have the awareness that he moved down here via TP, which means he's pretty much stuck in a close proximity to this area. So if Dire smoke instantly... they've got one on Sui, they have one on Pondos. They might just look to stick top. This tier 1 tower doesn't really mean too much for them though. Maybe mid's their objective, where the Brewmaster's currently positioned. Still, you see all the space that Radiant need. I mean, the Spirit Vessel's not coming out fast enough for the Venge, and well, with how late of a Spirit Vessel timing he's getting, it's going to be a super late Aghanim's timing. Well, there we go. Yeah, Chylon Claw. We said he was stuck down bot, and Pondo's just going to cut off the head here with the Phantom Assassin. Mid lane, we got the Primal Split out though.
Yeah, Chylon Quad does have that, it does have a bit of a hard time playing at the moment, because Pondos just has that Blink Taunt pressure available. Meanwhile, in the mid lane here, CZ finding himself a nice little kill in the Coded Binary with the Primal Split. It does come to a close though, and in comes Gachimuchi Champ with that TP. Soy might be able to cut off this TP. No, he doesn't even see him doing it. The Ice Path not going to come through in time. Dunker does grab the right location with the torrent, but unfortunately just a little bit too late. And that's going to be a cheeky little play from CZ.
Well, knowing that... Oh, nice attempt from Pondos. This is a difficult kill on Soft Tofu.
Yeah, now he might be in a spot of bother as in comes CZ as well as Chill with the TP. Does have swap available, looks to grab it back into the root, hits him with the magic missile. The minus armor is there. This axe is dropping very low. He will end up going down. Now Dunker forced to retreat.
Oh, they did at least get Code of Binary. He's level 6, which is nice. They still have all their tier 1 towers. I'll try on Qual looking at the moment. Still trying to close in for the Battle of Fury. I mean, it's going to be probably about a 18-30 minute timing. Maybe, oh, I mean, if they get this kill, then probably 20 minutes. Which looks like they're going to get it. Here come the TP rotations. They have to be fast.
Yeah, that is going to be a... Ooh, no, the Nightmare ends up actually coming through to buy himself a little bit of time. Pondos, though, does get a great two-man taunt. The Finger of Death comes through in a Slain. He's going to get absolutely evaporated. Sloth Tofu trying to ult his friend out, but it's not in time. CZ is off in the wings, but you know, this is what we're talking about. The problem with this Brewmaster pick, he doesn't have the split available. Still looking to do as much damage onto Pondos as he can, though. The root comes through from Sloth Tofu in the tree line to try and help out his friend, but you know, without that primal split for another 5 seconds, unfortunately, CZ just barely missing out the opportunity to have huge impact in that fight, and that is going to be dire.
Oh, Gotcha's gonna solo kill. Ooh.
Morphling with a lot of agility, as you were saying, probably does have a very good time going up against that Phantom Assassin.
He's easy in trouble too. Pondos just gets the vision.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Pondos does have Blink available. They're looking to maybe Ice Path Sloth Tofu. He's just going to back him off. Pondos going to miss the call.
Don't run into Firestorm. The way the Radiant come back into this is if Dire make a mistake of fighting in Firestorm. And that's how Pondos is getting ripped apart in a lot of these fights. And it feels like he needs a Blade Mail. Which... I mean, armor's nice against the PA, the Venge as well. There's not a whole lot of AoE damage though. Like, they'll just more than likely avoid him.
Yeah, Blade Mail getting picked up by the Axe next by the looks of things. Does have obvious synergy with the call. Item that damages people when they hit you, and ability that makes people hit you. Pretty no-brainer there. But he's saying, you know, maybe he should go for something like a pipe instead, or what are your thoughts?
The Blade Mail, like you said, has had a lot of synergy with the Axe. It just doesn't... It's not a feels-good item right now. Like, it's like empty net worth in a way. It doesn't really help you farm too much. It just doesn't have your survivability whole lot. Like, it's just an item that doesn't feel good on Axe plays right now. Like, a lot of Dota is a feels game, and sometimes people don't have the explanation as why. They're just like, it just feels... It doesn't feel good to play. And Blade Mail on this hero, like, it's one of those. It's very hit or miss. Like, if you don't get kills off it, then it's not the greatest. And I'm not saying pipe is this game either, because I think that's a bit too heavy of a commitment. All you have to do is play away from Firestorm. So they pretty much just have to kite and play off survivability. Radiant, this is a desperation smoke. I mean, PA still doesn't even have Battle Fury just yet. You're smoking up before Spirit Vessel. Like, if they lose this fight, they're probably on the verge of calling it quits.
Yeah, they might be able to spot out Pondos, though. He is completely isolated. The Fiend's Grip does come through into the Firestorm. So much damage on Pondos here. He is going to likely get secured. Pops the call, but just going to be doing a little bit of damage before the inevitable. And yes, indeed. And Dire are going to retaliate by immediately moving into this topside triangle, grabbing some vision, and looking towards Roshan. You know, we were talking about that top lane Tier 1 hard tower a little earlier. They were able to grab that one nice and successfully, which does open up Roshan a little bit more for them. Gets rid of that TP point for the Radiant side right next to the pit. Might buy them enough time to be able to grab this one before the rotations come through. Look like they're leaving Gachi Champ to solo this one down, though, and in comes the Radiant. Primal Split is popped. They're just going to kite this one away from Roshan, but I'm not sure if they're allowed to leave it on this low amount of health. Fight more than likely going to be breaking out. They do find themselves the Cheeky Lion. Maybe stayed a little bit too long. Coded Binary going to get taken down.
That's a good buyback. You just recognize you cannot give up this Rosh. If Radiant get this, then this is pretty much their only avenue back in. I don't see another way from Radiant. They have to get this Aegis somehow. PA's not even showing up to the fight. Without split, this should not be a fight they can take. And man, what a call.
Yeah, Dunker looking to get massive damage on the Slain right here, but look at the Macro Pyre absolutely cutting off Radiant's chances of getting into this Roshan pit. Sloth Tofu does have to watch out. He's in the middle of 3 people, barely dodges out of the call. And no, in comes Gachi Champ with the waveform, able to pick that one up. Kunkka spinning up in the skies right here. isn't able to chase down the rest of the members of Radiant, but they've come out ahead, and I cannot imagine that they are not just going to run back to this Roshan and look to finish it off.
Yeah, that they will, and I just love the buyback from the line. Like the recognition, they use one split charge. Just go and Roche, you cannot allow them to contest that. Like if they have the opportunity of somehow getting the Aegis out of the hands of UQ Ultra Chads, and that is like a minor, the smallest window possible back into this game. I mean, Dota Plus says it's an 84% probability. I reckon it's about 98, unless they somehow dive under T3 towers, which can definitely happen. Crew's in trouble though, nice swap.
Swap does come through. It's likely going to be at the cost of her own life, but
he's out of split charges.
Nevertheless, Sloth Tofu very tanky here. The rest of his team, maybe not so much. Greenscript does come through on the Gachimuchi champ, but the Aegis is there. Great X marks the spot, brings the Underlord back after the ulti, and is going to be able to grab him up there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well,
Radiant structures are
GA's got Battle Fury. Silver linings, right?
Yeah, 23-minute Battle Fury. That's another thing about that item, is it just, like, if you're not getting it at like 14 minutes, it just feels awful. It feels so bad. Like getting a post 20-minute Battle Fury, it feels like, you know, you've got this item that it, you know, is meant to accelerate your farm and get you into the game, get your items, but you know, by the time you have it, it feels like the game's already decided at that point.
It's an atrocious item. It's so expensive, and it does not help in fights. Like, gives you 55 damage, cool. Pia's got 1400 health. No stats, no health, no attack speed, nothing like that. Like, just damage and farming. That's it. So, I'm not saying it's not the item you go on Phantom Assassin. This is just a reason why on this hero, like, is very situational. You have to wing lanes. You can't play from behind. And when you're at this deficit in a game like this, you don't fight your way back in. You farm. But the issue is that the enemy team will just control the map. Like, I would love to see Dai go for a gem. It's super early, but just a recognition that the way back for Radiant is by farming for the Phantom Assassin. And if you just minimize the map to make it that much more difficult, maybe you don't get kills with the extra vision, but it means that PA is farming more scared and not as fast as what she would like to be, like going from camp to camp instantly.
Camp to camp is exactly what she is doing, but Dire side, as you were saying, looking to maybe set up a bit of an invade into this bottom side Radiant jungle.
Oh, well, they smoked underneath the ward. No one pinged it out at the moment. See how they look to connect. They just... See? They just go to objectives right now. If you... Because Dire don't have the greatest pickoff lineup until Lion gets a Blink Dagger. Conquer hasn't gone for like too many mobility items, not that you really see, but like Crystallis and Armlet don't help with his movement speed at getting across the map, so his pick-off potential is not the greatest, so you're relying on Axe and Lion to play that role. So just go for objectives. At the moment you can't catch Radiant, do the thing you can do.
Pushing down this bottom side T2 tower.
Radiant's bottom tower has
And again, you know, they are just bleeding one objective after the other, and Radiant not able to grab a single Dire tower for themselves.
So that should be the main objective from Radiant, to probably put a ward down around top, and that'll help them try and take an objective. Because you need, if you get this top tier 1 tower, it might give the PA one more creep wave she can farm, and maybe like 2 or 3 more jungle camps that are open to her, and that's all she needs right now. And you just need to get some map control, some real estate across the map. If that's, you know, you trading a tier 2 tower for the tier 1 top, then you have to take that trade. So this is where maybe a bit more of an experienced team would recognize, like, okay, if we can't defend bottom, we have to get a trade out of it. Let's already start to send our forces up to top to get ready for the trade. But unfortunately, a little bit too late. So once again, the suffocation just starts to get tighter.
Yeah, and this top lane tower is going to be next on their agenda as they move on down to it. And Pondoz, you know, Blade Mail completed on this Axe. He's looking absolutely unkillable.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Nether Shard as well. which is something that did get touched up through 7.3D. The armor reduction got nerfed, which is nice versus the PA and the Venge, but magic resistance bonus got nerfed as well, and the spell amp as well. Gotcha, just solo killing Jailan, and this one is pretty much over. We want to take guesses on when this is going to end. I'll go like 33-27.
Yeah, 15k net worth difference. This is definitely one of those ones that it makes you wonder why they're not just calling GG and just preserving their mental for game 2 and, you know, potentially game 3. You know, at this point, really, it's just mental damage from here on out in terms of their ability to play this game. This Axe is just never dying. Dunker himself, extremely tanky on this Kunkka. And, you know, does have that Chrysalis available right now, so those Tidebringer crits are going to be absolutely painful to play into. But nevertheless, you know, things are just going to keep on going here. They're going to find themselves a bit of an overkill, honestly, on the Slain there with the Finger of Death getting thrown in on top of a Coded Binary. Grabbing himself his 3rd stack.
The only way they lose this fight if they overcommit into a Firestorm. Like, you see how much damage that just did to Pondos? That's pretty much 2/3 of his health. So, cautious of the Firestorm, lads. It's the only thing you have to be worried about.
Lincoln's on Gachimichi Champ. You can see how hard it is to kill this guy. Has that going for him.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
There's the split though. CZ looking to come in here.
Dire's top tower is
They're
under
going to find the
attack.
Atos under Soy, but he's just going to pop the one and get on out of there. Meanwhile, look at Gachimichi Champ. Look at the strength shift going on this Morphling right here. Absolutely ludicrous amounts of HP. 6,000 max health currently on this bad boy. Gonna shift back down to Agi though as the fight looks to keep on going. Axe trying to make his initiation here. Blink into the instant hex is gonna find himself onto Chill, but a swap is gonna keep him safe. Brewmaster, second split of the fight, looking to chase things down here. Soy maybe a little bit caught out. No. Do decide to just back off here to safety. Gachimichi Champ gonna use the replica to grab himself Underlord. Ends up cancelling it.
See if they... I mean, without any Primal Switch charges, I don't see how you defend this. Just has to be a full set. PA need... I mean... This is the thing when you go... She had to go BKB to offer any threats in fights, but... It's a tough one.
Has fallen.
It's like, you want the Deso, this is another Phil's thing. Like, you want the Deso, it increases your kill potential, increases your farming. But we see what happens with Deso. Okay, you're not farming with it. Like, Chailan finally gets out the map and it's going to run into Pondos, so she's dead again. Or maybe with haste. Well, they just got a little bit of vision.
Dire are scanning.
Oh my lord. Yeah, so that's why the Morph matchup is a bit of a rough one.
Yikes. That was definite counterplay there. Hits him with the Ethereal Blade Adaptive Strike 100-0. So it's a definite yikes right there. Yeah, you look at the net worth chart, it's just ludicrously in Dire's favor.
Still 96%. Like, this must be some PA bias right here.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any hero that, you know, we've seen insane comebacks on this season, it's PA in that one Divine Rapier game. Absolutely ludicrous comeback. You know, it's a similar game to this. Massive net worth deficit. PA just bought a Rapier and came back. So I mean, you know, I never discount the possibility of it happening, but in a best of 3 season, best of 3 series like this, I should say, you know, definitely is interesting that they're, you know, willing to play this one out.
Which, like, there's 2 ways. There's not. I don't want to say 2 ways. There's probably more ways you could look at. But like, an inexperienced team playing a game like this can be very frustrating because it feels like you're just continuously banging your head against the window and finding no resolution. So it can be a frustrating thing. You know, sometimes maybe it's giving you a little bit of an opportunity to speak over the game and what you can work on next. That can also show some signs of resilience, just as a team that, you know, has high chemistry and just will always try and fight to the end. Sometimes that's, you know, good for different teams. Like we can't say what these boys are building their team off. Like everyone's different. I know Invictus Gaming, they're a team that will GG out when they truly feel like there is no way to come back in. And if that's 13 minutes into a game, I've seen it happen before. Like they are a team that are okay with just cutting their losses and getting ready for the next one. You know, that might just be though because they have cores or supports that, you know, I should say just players in general that maybe are more affected by tilt and aren't drawn to the resilient go into the, you know, whatever stage we can and, you know, play off the 0.111, you know, percent that we can take it. So there's different ways to look at it, but at least for Radiant, we'll see how they can pull this out.
Certainly, well, with the knowledge that Ganchi Champ is able to E-Blade Adaptive Strike insta-kill this Phantom Assassin, definitely have to play very cautiously. And you can see she's doing just that. Terrified to walk up and farm anything at the moment.
Oh, it's... When you're this far ahead, you have no objectives to take without like you can't go high ground without ages. So just walk in Roche, and if Radiant give it to you for free, then awesome. Then you can go take you another objective. But you also want to fight. So you're pretty much taunting Radiant to be like, all right, you give this up for free. This is pretty much the way for us to end the game. But if you come and we kill you all, it's pretty much game over. It's just like there's no win-win here. So if you can't fight them and they're just holed up inside their base, force them to come out by getting an objective.
Certainly is. We do have, you know, Aegis, Satanic, Skadi, Lincolns on this Morphling right now. Such a hard hero to kill. We'll have to see if they're able to bring him down, although it's not looking likely. Pondos once again leading the charge onto this tier 3 tower. Gets the blink into the call here onto this Vengeful Spirit. They're looking to bring her down nice and fast. They do end up doing it. No Aghanims, unfortunately, on her to bring her back into this one. Chill going to be able to swap Sloth Tofu out to safety as Gachi Muchichamp looking to chase him down with these right clicks. They've kited it out enough for now. Looks like no losses so far, except for that Venge who did buy back. Now they're going to go in here. Sloth going to get absolutely melted down. Gachi Muchichamp is dropping low. Might find Shilong Kwa. Yes, the last auto attack doesn't get hit. And look at Gachi Muchichamp just running an absolute train on these teams right now. Does get revived by the Aegis, looking to do what he can to get out of here. Sloth Tofu doing negligible damage to this Morphling right now. We do see CZ trying to do what he can with the Primal Split available, but Macropire comes down and they're forced into full retreat. E-Blade going to be doing so much burst damage to him. He has to watch out. The Culling Blade from Pondos to finish him off there. Now Sloth Tofu, the only one left alive. We do have buyback available on the PA if need be. Slain going to be coming back as well. Does he have the Fiend's Grip available? Yes, he does, but almost 60% of his HP getting taken out by a single Tidebringer Cleave on a creep. He has to watch out. The Adaptive Strike E-Blade from Gachi Muchichamp is going to finish him off yet again. And now Kunkka does have to be careful. Dunka getting dropped pretty dangerously low, but this Dire side still just absolutely railing down on these towers. That comes through from Shilong Kwa. Now he's alive with Sloth Tofu to try and do what he can here against these teams, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do much as the GG is called. And that is going to be game 1 going over to UQ Ultimate Chads.
Solid performance from the boys on Dire. I mean, I just felt very methodical. Like, you have really, really strong lanes. Bottom goes exceptionally well. It just felt like what we were saying with what they were getting out of the map. Like, just put the PA in the jungle, then Morphling can solo his lane. Like we saw for ages, Morphling was just 1v1 in the Underlord and they were trading farm, but it didn't... like, if you were looking at it, you'd probably be like, they're trading farm, but the fact Morphling shoves out the lane, then gets the hard camp and the small camp in the back to the lane, and meanwhile across the map, PA's maybe one getting, 2 jungle camps at the same time, but no lane creeps. Like, there's a complete difference, and this is just why this hero doesn't feel good anymore. And maybe the recognition coming into it at banning a majority of Chailanqua's heroes is the way to go, because he looked out of his comfort zone potentially. Maybe this is the pick, and just showing that PA is not good, or who knows what it's going to be. But they're down a game now.
Yeah, certainly, but 2 more to bring it back, and we'll have to see if this left, right, good night lineup does have what it takes. I mean, we saw them make some really impressive plays in their first match we ever saw them play, where they made a absolutely crazy set of wombo combos with their team composition to, bring back some disastrous games, even when, it did look like they were outmatched at a physical sort of player level where, the players individually were just kind of losing in their roles, but then they grouped up and were able to have an absolutely amazing performance. And, we'll have to wait and see if they're able to do that kind of thing here against this absolutely mammoth team that is this UQ Ultimate Chad's lineup. But looks like we're probably going to throw it over to a little bit of a break before we head into game 2, and we'll catch you all in just a few moments. All right, and welcome back, folks, to our Game 2 here between RMIT, Left Right Good Night, and UQ Ultimate Chads in this best of 3 series for our playoffs for the Australian Esports League University Season 2 for 2021. I'm Kadius, joined here on the casting desk by Ares, and we just saw a absolute stomp of a Game 1 from UQ Ultimate Chads, and it does look like Left Right Good Night going into Game 2 have chosen to take the dire side.
Okay. Well, we'll see. What else did they... So they got second pick. Okay. So, that's, I'd say, people, I think, are putting a lot more priority on second pick just because you get the ultra last and you also get the 18th pick, so the last pick out of the second phase. And it will at least give now UQ Ultimate Chads a opportunity to be able to go for their strongest hero that they think is left available. You know, this is the power of first pick, that you have free pickings. Whatever you want, whatever you feel like is the strongest, you can go straight into. So we'll, this is a nice way to get a read of individual teams and what they put a lot of priority on.
Yeah, certainly we are seeing pretty similar bans to our first game from the Abaddon and the Night Stalker, and Hoodwink going to be the first pickup here for UQ Ultimate Chads.
Okay. Not the hero I was expecting, but this is something that they show priority on, I suppose. It has been nerfed. I think the change to
5 seconds remaining.
I think the change to Bushwhack was a bit of an issue for the Hoodwink, just the damage not being instant over time. I mean, it has its benefits against someone like a TA, but yeah, it is a pesky squirrel, and we saw in Game 1 UQ going for both their supports in the opener. Looks like this time all the teams are going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Soy did show that he liked the Jakiro pick, and this time we do have Infamous Amos on the roster, so a little bit of a switch up there on their 4. They're going to grab the Hoodwink instead of the Lion. But this is, you know, UQ Ultimate Chads. You know, if we thought they looked dominant last game, this is now their complete full main lineup that they have here in Game 2. So this could be even harder for the side of Left Right Good Night. They're definitely going to have to, you know, fight for this one if they want to have a chance. But nevertheless, we are seeing, you know, pretty similar bans here from the side of UQ Ultimate Chads, taking out Juggernaut Slark. This time, we are seeing Lifestealer left up on the table.
10 seconds remaining.
Wonder if that'll
So
be...
you don't think Infamous was the issue?
5 seconds remaining.
Don't think... what do I mean Infamous was the issue?
Well, he wasn't there in Game 1, so maybe he's the issue if they lose this game. Maybe them playing with subs is the power, their little secret strat.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if they do lose this game, maybe they'll sub the sub in back for Game 3. Who knows? We'll have to, you know, put them back in. But, you know, we did see that Lion player who, you know, did get caught out a little bit more than the rest of the team there, maybe not having as much comfortability, whereas, you know, we've seen Amos pilot this Hoodwink before, and he has just made some absolutely crazy plays, landing those super long-range sharpshoots to finish off kills, landing those incredible multi-man bushwhacks. So definitely is no slouch on this squirrel. We'll have to see if he's able to, you know, really pop off with it in the same sort of way. But either way, definitely taking their time with this pick is going to be the Pangolier locked in from Left Right Good Night.
Okay. Please go instant Bloodseeker. Nice. I don't have to see the rest of the draft. I'm all UQ, so you can take over.
Yeah, I mean, Bloodseeker definitely a bit of an annoying one for Pangolier to deal with. He can go for his, I believe it's his shard that lets him stop moving when he's in the ultimate, which is a little bit of like a pseudo counterplay to that. But yeah, otherwise, you know, Pangolier hits the R button, Bloodseeker hits the R button. That's all she wrote, really. The Pangolier will likely just die at that point to the Bloodseeker ultimate. So hopefully we don't see too much of that happen early on. But yeah, Bloodseeker is a really, really good answer to the Pangolier. But they're actually locking in Spirit Breaker here as well, as what I presume is their position 3, which is an interesting one. How do you think Spirit Breaker is going to fare into this lineup?
Well, not well into the Deuce, I believe, but this is a very good Deucer pick, actually. Hang on, this could throw a spanner in the works, but Strip Breaker, to answer your question, I think it's
10
pretty
seconds
good as a
remaining.
position 3 right now. He seems to actually do a decent amount with farm, but if he doesn't
5
have a good
seconds
laning
remaining.
stage, then he can fall behind. My issue is that Medusa doesn't care about standing still, and that's what Rupture, that's what this ability does. I mean, it's such a nuisance to people that are reliant on their mobility and to kite people through and through, and who are very squishy. Medusa's not that. You can stand your ground, you've got a bunch of AoE damage, you like the people actually running at you, and that's all Spirit Breaker and the Bloodseeker. Now maybe Blood doesn't need as much farm. Maybe he can run at the Medusa early. Like, she still does need 2 items, but they could use that to their advantage on UQ. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the Medusa.
Yeah, certainly one of the more menacing late game threats present in the game, but Bloodseeker certainly is going to be a bit of a pain for Pango and even Mirana to an extent. Obviously, if you get a Rupture on Mirana, she can't just leap away, which is normally what makes kind of ganking that hero a little bit difficult. But final bans here does look like UQ Ultimate Chads targeting out some of those mid lane picks. Unsurprisingly, Puck going to be taken off the board, and OD similar sort of vein for Left Right Goodnight targeting the mid lane pool. Brewmaster looking like they don't want to deal with the Brewmaster once again.
Okay. I don't hate it. I mean, maybe it's just something that they're comfortable on, but it didn't seem to have a whole lot of impact, which is a little bit worrying. But just covering their corners here, making sure there's nothing to fear.
Yeah, certainly we are seeing them final picks here. It looks like it's going to be a Queen of Pain. Piloted by Dunka Dunka in the mid lane, I would presume. Unless they are swapping things around, so Dunka Dunka isn't going to be the pos 2 once again. But that is going to be Queen of Pain in the position to roll, and we'll see what the response is here.
10 seconds remaining.
Sniper Ban is a bit of an interesting one. Do you have any reasonings on why they might have gone for...
Yeah, it's better than the Dusa. The matchup's really good just because you outrange Dusa. Like, again, she's one that wants to be on the front line, but she has issues with being able to catch heroes that can outrange her. And that's a great way to deal with a Sniper, Terrorblade, Arc Warden, or heroes that outrange Dusa. So that's why their matchups are pretty favorable against her. We will see the Lincoln's Ember Spirit. There's not a lot of guaranteed control for UQ. I was saying I was a pretty big fan of the Bloodseeker just because it was against the Pango, but I think the Ember and Medusa last pick is some pretty game-winning stuff. So I'm back at 50-50, and in fact, I might actually give the edge to Dire.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, obviously Queen of Pain does like her Orchid, usually goes for the Orchid Rush, and Orchid is definitely not a fun item to play Ember Spirit into. It's definitely getting hit by that silence duration hurts when you're the Ember. So a little bit of, having to play cautious around that, I suppose, in the Ember Quap matchup. But, I mean, outside of that, this is definitely looking like it's going to be a bit of an interesting one.
Yes, without a doubt. Now, not a huge fan that they've got a Lich Medusa. I feel like Lich in the lane enables any melee hero to play aggressive with the Frost Shield. So you're kind of not playing into the strengths of the Lich to be able to find kill threat, but that's something to keep in mind, that the safe lane from Left Right Goodnight's not going to be as strong, and they're going up against a Hoodwink and also a Spirit Breaker, which is a pretty scary lane to play into. Maybe they can kill off the Lich a couple times. I'm just trying to see if Raiden can play this game super fast. I mean, mid should be favorable for Dunka Dunka. See how the other lane's going to be. It's a Bloodseeker with a Jakiro against a Pain. Yeah. Okay, if Dire are behind by like 2k at 20 minutes in, then I think they'll win. But I'm just worried that Radiant will run over this game.
We'll have to wait and see. Queen of Pain, definitely a scary character. Huge chat, maybe getting caught out here a little bit. Great start there. Ember Spirit starting with chains to root up Gachi Michi Champ to finish him off. Beautiful stuff.
30 seconds to battle. There will be pain. There will be screaming.
We'll see. How do you feel like this matchup's going to go for yourself personally?
Medusa, it looks like Marana 5 actually. Unless, okay, no. Or maybe the Lich was heading down to bot side, Marana was going up with Medusa. No, they're just fighting for the room. Pondos has to watch out here, he's actually going to get hit by the Sacred Arrow. Oh, that's going to be Qilongqua picking up a nice quick kill onto Pondos, and it's definitely very nice. Obviously Medusa not a mid that generally goes bottle. So, or sorry, not a carry. Generally goes bottle, especially when, you know, even if Medusa is in the mid lane. And that's gonna, you know, be able to get her a very early Wraith Band here by the looks of things in this lane, which is probably pretty good. Having stats to survive burst against Hoodwink Spirit Breaker, not the worst thing.
Alright, well, we'll see how this one does end up breaking, but yeah, the early kill advantage for Dire. That's the fact.
Don't know what happened, but Sloth Tofu finding himself a nice little pick up onto Soy in the bottom side as well. I guess Pango level 1 very strong, obviously. Shield Crash. Kind of a broken level 1 spell. Definitely one of the better ones in Dota.
That is true. We'll just see how his game fares, because Bloodseeker's the biggest counter to him. So this lane should still be decent for Pango, because he's got, as long as he holds the Swashbuckle to get out of range of Bloodright. But it's a bit of an issue when you're only level 1. And might be dead.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice little quick and easy kill for him. You drop a little bit too low. Give Ganchi Michichamp all of that room to work with, thanks to Thirst. And, you know, that's all she wrote from there. But I think all eyes are going to be in this mid lane a little bit. You know, Queen of Pain and Ember.
It should be pretty quad favored. We'll see if Donkey Donk is comfortable in this matchup, but the dagger is not easy to dodge at all with the slight. Maybe if Lincoln's is well versed enough in this method. Lich is in trouble. Has Pondos got any abilities?
Oh, great bushwhack. And the bash proc as well. Unlucky.
Oh, Qilongqua has definitely felt like he's been a big reason why the side of Dire have been able to win a majority of their games. We saw last one, he didn't have the greatest performance on the Phantom Assassin, but you know, this is always where the retribution arc can start here for the position 1. As bottom lane, action continues. Soy.
Yeah, Soy does have to watch out here. No abilities left for the Dire side, but they do have the auto attacks to finish him off. Gachi Michichamp, though, does have this Thirst built up, looking to chase down Sloth Tofu, the Shield Crash, to try and apply a little bit of a slow. We'll get him out to safety.
And top lane, Pondo's going to go down too. Infamous is going to try and look to man fight Qilongqua, but without the +1, he's in trouble.
He might actually go down here. Another couple auto attacks should do the trick here. One from Slain, one from Medusa. No, he barely lives. The Tango regen, by the looks of things, keeping him alive on a prayer. Comes Pondos with the salve. Yeah, there's a lot of man fighting going on in this bottom side, and I do really like Sloth Tofu grabbing himself that Orb of Venom here to have, you know, these early fights. Did end up going for a point in Swashbuckle at level 3. Makes sense. You know, Pango, you can usually, you know, either go for the 2-point Shield Crash, level 3, or go for point in Swashbuckle, but, you know, being able to move out of things like Bloodright is certainly, you know, very useful.
Oof, he's gone bottle as well from Sloth. I actually don't hate this because you're into a Bloodseeker, so you need your... You just need to out-sustain the lane. to make sure that this thirst doesn't build up. I'd really like to see the other lanes get a lot more aggressive as well to really enable the Bloodseeker.
Yeah, and I mean, Jakiro is such a strong laning hero. Dual Breath and Liquid Fire, just very good poke tools. Some of the best of any support in terms of doing damage. Really, really good. You know, that's definitely going to make a lot of sense if you pair it with something like a Bloodseeker that benefits from you, just kind of doing damage and dropping their health low.
No.
It does look like, at least for Lincoln's, his mid lane's gone a lot better than I was expecting. I mean, Dunk has got 3 points in Dagger, so he has to play way more aggressive than what he is. This should not be as even. You know, Queen of Pain, like... I still have a big issue with the hero, even though I think she got buffed up a decent amount. If you put more points, like more than 2 points in Shadow Strike and don't win your lane very convincingly, then you lack a lot of like potential to get kills across the map and farm. Slain might be in trouble up here.
Slain. Oh, I didn't bash, my goodness. Getting lucky. No bash available. Now we do see Medusa getting caught up with the bushwhack. Pondor is very low. In comes the TP from Ember. Slain finding himself a kill onto the Hoodwink. Here is Lincoln's Chains available. Is going to pop it. There it is. Sleight of Fist. And that's going to be a nice, quick and easy kill going over to him. It's going to be a Phase Boots Ember game. Not going for the bots.
Okay. See, Ember's one of the... he's a spirit that's okay versus the Bloodseeker. Rupture can be very annoying depending on if you already have some remnants placed across the map, so that's something that Lincoln's has to always keep in mind.
Yeah.
But again, just this mid matchup, it's big issues right now, and it's like always in a draw. If you look at matchups and you're like, okay, you know, this on paper should go well, this on paper should go well, X, Y, and Z, and when they don't go well, it really puts the team in a bit of shambles because you kind of drafted off the back of one of those lanes that was supposed to go well because of the matchup favoring, and now that it hasn't, we'll see if it's how much is going to hinder them and where their now flaws will come through.
Yeah, and I mean, well, one thing about the Ember Bloodseeker matchup that is worth noting is unlike things like the Void Spirit, Ember can sit back and use Sleight of Fist. Sleight of Fist doesn't actually proc Rupture at all, so that's one of the things he has going for him, I suppose. You can kind of just sit back and stand still and just click Sleight every time it's off cooldown. I'm actually very impressed at his mana usage this game, though. He's not been out of mana very often, and Ember, especially early, one of his bigger weaknesses is his mana. Shilong Fire, unfortunately, getting ganked there up in the top side. Thanks to Dunker with a great little roam there, pops the Scream of Pain. Sonic Wave
is under attack.
Beautifully done. But yeah, Ember is someone that I find does just go a lot, especially in a matchup like Queen of Pain, where you do want to be using that Flame Guard a little bit to absorb the magic damage that she can put out from the daggers.
Radiant's middle
But
tower
no, he's just been sitting pretty comfortably.
Mid lane.
Aggressive here onto Soy.
Oh, okay.
Actually getting out of this one in time. Lincoln's having a bit of a fumble with his fingers there, and Soy coming out alive in that situation. Absolutely incredible. Great TP from Gachimuchi Champ.
Well, that's always nice to give up some freebies. I'm sure Gachi's going to take that. 4k net worth at the moment now for the Bloodseeker. Working into the Maelstrom. And for the Deucer, oh, she's back to now farming up in the jungle. She's gone 2 points mana shield. Oh no. This is not good. She's gonna take a long time to get some farm mid lane. Action will continue breaking out. It's just Lincoln's and Slain hand in hand with Gachi and Soy. They're probably going to look to try and trade side lane objectives, which they will. Slot to Tofu getting a free pass couple of minutes to take this tower, but simultaneously Dunker with that rotation. The top side will finally get the tower.
Lincoln's just farming up, looking for that Maelstrom. Did end up just going for the Orb of Venom into the Maelstrom this game. Obviously, you do see the Orb of Corrosion into Maelstrom a little bit commonly. But just going for the straight, just the Orb of Venom into Maelstrom this game. Makes a lot of sense. Obviously, not able to slow down and stick very well. That was absolutely beautiful there, but the Nether Strike coming through from Infamous Amos might be able to find Lincoln's. Combined with the Ice Path and the Rupture, yes, it is enough. But in comes the Medusa, though. Looking for something, but...
Yeah, bottom lane action breaking out too. Pondos is actually found Soft Tofu. Doesn't have the point in the ultimate.
Going
so deep on a Qilong Qua right here. The TPs are coming through.
Tower is under attack.
Maybe in time to be able to get him out for safety.
Under attack.
Is Pango? There's no way he goes to get the haste. Oh, is anyone there to get?
They do spot him out. He's hasting away the best he can, but in comes Infamous Amos with the charge. He's trying to haste away and buy as much time as possible, but no, he does get hit by Infamous Amos's charge of darkness, and there he goes. They are going to find themselves Soy. Lincoln's grabbing a little bit of vengeance to his fallen comrade. And no, actually, never mind. Ember Spirit did go for the Orb of Corrosion first into the Maelstrom. He did have the Maelstrom queued up with only the Orb of Venom in his inventory, but I suppose he must have been on the courier. So, never mind. It's just going the standard Ember build this game.
They might run into Garchi, or maybe Garchi's running to them.
Definitely they are running into Garchi by the looks of things. Here comes Dunker though. Looking to get some damage done with that Sonic Wave. My goodness, look at the damage that Sharpshoot can do. He has Charge of Darkness sitting on him here from Infamous Amos. We'll see if he takes it all the way. Yes, he will. In one more auto attack will do the trick. They find themselves a nice little pickup onto Slain as well. Dunker everywhere on the map right now.
Very nicely done. Just kills into objectives. The name of the game here from Radiant. Look to try and suffocate them as much as possible to not give the Medusa any breathing room to find the farm. And Infamous is looking for more too. He's got to get really lucky here with the bashes if he's going to find the kill on Lincoln's.
Yeah, he does get the Flame Remnant out.
Bash. Oh. You can tell he wasn't saying bash himself. That's why I didn't bash.
Yeah, that is generally like how it works. It's you know, just a little rite of thing. You know, like in the old Pokemon games, how like you would mash all the keys on the Game Boy to make it capture.
Wait,
even though that
Pokemon?
didn't do anything. Pardon?
What's Pokemon?
Pokemon, like the you know, like the games.
No, what do you mean?
So like saying bash to get the bashes to work. It's like in Pokemon when you would capture a Pokemon with the ball, you would like mash all the buttons on your Game Boy to try and like get it to capture, even though that didn't really do anything.
Wait, Pokemon like Dragon Ball Z?
What? No, like the games. What?
No, I know what Pokemon is. Alright, Chalanqua. They're smoking up right now. If they can get him before he takes a sack, he's still only got 1 point in split shot. So he's not going to take this stack very fast.
That Dire's top tower is under
Like Shadow.
Gotta catch them all.
Radiant
Get chill.
structures are fortified.
Okay.
Dunker.
Oh, that's
Links
not a good
very
feeling.
badly.
Don't run into the arrow.
Oh, but he's in some good terrain right now. Massive macro pie coming down from Soy. In comes Sloth Tofu, though, with that roll. Look at the bounces. Oh, my God. Knocks him onto the low ground. Sonic Wave comes through, but it's only going to hit Qilong Qua. Meanwhile, Pondos trying to slow down the rest of the engage, but Infamous Amos in the backside right here with the Charge of Darkness, looking for Qilong Qua. The Mana Shield buying him enough time. Meanwhile, on the backside, the rest of Radiant have arrived. Sloth Tofu and Lincoln's doing their best, but Lincoln's is caught up in this Rupture. It's going to finally end, though, but he's going to get caught up by another Bushwhack from Pondos, who has rejoined the fight. Pogo Stick trying to be used here by the Pangolier to get himself a little bit of distance, but Infamous Amos with the charge to catch him off and finish him off. Qilong Qua managed to escape, though. A little bit of a silver lining. 3 members of Dire still alive to defend this mid lane push that looks like it's on the way.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, very nice fight. It was looking like it was gonna spell disaster at the start when the Queen of Pain
Dire's middle
kind
tower
of
is under
blinked
attack.
into that nook of the area and then somehow got pushed down to the low ground. I'm like, hang on, what's going on in this team fight? But cool
Dire's
synergy
top
that Dire
tower
have is
is
the
under
Sinister
attack.
Gaze into the Stone Gaze, where you can force them to reposition themselves and turn around. And that could be a cute combo as the game goes on. Do they have vision of this arrow coming through? Doesn't look like they do. I mean, it's daytime. If Pango gets if Hoodwink gets caught here, then that'd be no good at all. Compondos. Nice.
Doesn't look hit by the arrow. Very lucky. Tactical pause to scout out the arrow.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Medusa's maxing Flame Shield. Sorry, Mana Shield. Why am I saying Flame Shield? This is no good.
Yeah, very interesting. Especially when there's a lot of Medusas, right? That will go for like 4-4-0.
Yeah. I mean, that's why she's only got 5,300 gold. And for Queen of Pain, who's 3-1 and 2, but your Dunker's only got 69 last. Like, they have the same amount of last hits. That should never be a thing.
The prize is mine.
Yeah, certainly. Not very great in
Dire's
terms of
top tower is under
farming
attack.
efficiency here. He's going for the very early Manta. Well, first item Manta.
Now, we'll see if that early survivability item is going to be enough for the Medusa. I guess can purge off the Orchid. Might have a fight breakout around bottom. There's multiple Die Heroes in Radiant, but they will not converge into the same area until now. Maybe Pondos? Is that a higher gun you want to brute force up? No, that's a cool play. Just chuck out the little acorn shot.
Yeah. Got him out with the tree. Honda's definitely doing work. This Hoodwink pick. Showing that he can play Axe and Hoodwink. Do well on both.
It's showing that the Infamous has just got the bigger donga, being the one that's playing the call.
Dire's bottom
You might
tower
actually
is
be
under
able to find out
attack.
Chill here in the tree. Have to watch out. Macropire available on Soy. In comes Queen of Pain though. Does get caught out by the Sinister Gaze
Dunker.
into the roots. And oh my goodness, Dunker is actually going to get taken down. Moonlight Shadow is going to get popped. They do find themselves the tower first. Here comes Infamous Amos though. Charge of Darkness onto Chilon Kwa in the mid lane. Gachi Champ is going to be able to find them. The Rupture is there. No, going to be able to tank a little bit of that damage thanks to the 3 points. Mana Shield coming in the clutch after all. Great roots though coming through from Lincoln's, looking to kite in and out of this fight. He's out of mana though, so not going to be too useful for the rest of this fight, but the auto attack's going to be enough to finish it off, and that's going to be Dire's side coming up huge with 3 kills to their name.
Oh, taking the fight down by the bottom tier 2 tower. Like, if you lose the Queen of Pain there, then you can't go for any more pickoffs like they were attempting. So just trying to find some sort of resemblance of like a consolation prize just to make them not feel tier 2 tower just means they lose even more out of the map. And now this is still Durus is about 3,000 gold behind her counterpart. But she will have to still farm.
It's the absolute wet dream there for Lincoln's. 0 mana to his name on this Ember Spirit. Finds himself the regen rune to go right back to full.
Worthy tribute.
So satisfying.
Top who we found out here. Looks like it's just Sloth Tofu. Poor old Panglia. It's a tough life sometimes with the mobility of the Spirit Breaker, and Gachi's always been farming this top side of the map, so it feels like if you're anywhere near this proximity, then you'll always have the Bloodseeker to come hand in hand.
Yeah, Bloodseeker did end up going for a Halberd here, which is going to be pretty decent. Into the Medusa, I would imagine.
Yep, very good item to help kite the Dusa. Looks like Archie wants a BKB so they can hit a pretty solid mid-game timing. And then after that, the Scud is a great way to be able to do with any ranged carries just because of the double effectiveness from the movement speed and the attack speed. So I like the itemization. It's just going to help him as well with a little bit more survivability, and so he doesn't get kited at the start of the fights until he can build up that thirst. But regards to the Ember, Lincoln's has gone. Lincoln's very poetic.
Yeah, I mean, makes a lot of sense, right? They've got the Rupture available, which has been a big thorn in his side, as well as the Charge of Darkness as well. Speaking of Charge of Darkness, Infamous Amos maybe getting caught out here in the bottom side, but no. There's a very fast bull, unfortunately. He's just going to run away from 4 heroes.
I don't know how much I really like the Lincolns, honestly. I feel like we've seen him go into this item a couple times. But, I mean, you have... Oh, Sharpshooter! Oh my god. Nice block from Ember. You shouldn't be using Rupture on the Ember Spirit. That is pretty much a solely Pangolier focused ulti. Unless the Rolling Thunder's on cooldown, then maybe you can think about using it on the Ember. But if Ember dies, it's not because of Rupture. It's because his Spirit usages, and going for a 5100 gold item just to protect you against the Orchid is a bit too
I mean, Orchid really does suck for Ember. It's such a long duration of silence. You're gonna get caught out here though. Lots of abilities being clicked on Chill's head. Very unfortunate for him. Mondog's being very annoying with these acorns.
It feels like a lot of squirrels are. Sometimes they just sit up in the trees and throw acorns at you. You ever get those ones?
Do we have squirrels in Australia?
Want to see what we do for fun around here?
Oh yeah, what do you mean? Down in the very, very bottom side of Australia, where the earth is upside down. Yeah, somehow we brought the American squirrels down here. And they sit up in trees like drop bears, but instead of dropping down, they just throw acorns.
Yeah, and taunt. This one does.
Yeah, they just wag their tail. But drop bears are scary. That's something now you got to look out for. For any Aussie that's not aware, you going up against drop bears, that's a difficult opponent. Like at the moment, UQ seem to be a difficult opponent.
Certainly are. See if they're able to get their way out of this one though.
Yeah, well, that's off the back of the Deucer. We'll see how much she's...
Proper skunks.
I mean, still only 3-point split shot. So her farm's not going to keep going up until that one's maxed out. Scardy.
Yeah, what do you think about the second item, Scardy? Because I know Medusa's a hero that does like grabbing that second item Aghanims a lot of the time, just because
I
even
think the Ags got nerfed too heavily. We've got to fight around mid.
Chase down Dunker. Gonna be the first target by the looks of things. Lincoln's finishing him off. Might be able to find Infamous Amos as well. Yes, indeed. Gachimuchi Champ gonna be running away from this one as it looks like it is all but over. Or is he? Pondo's going a little bit wide on the bushwhack. I'm afraid does get hit by the Sacred Arrow. That's so much damage coming down from the Starfall. Pondo's living on a prayer in the Shadow Amulet. No, but not for long. Slain. Finally able to grab that one and finish him off. That was almost the most clutch Shadow Amulet I've ever seen in Dota. Yules, oh my goodness, not able to find the Sacred Arrow follow-up thanks to a great Ice Path from Soy. And now the 3 of them are kiting. And as the damage ticks, the thirst stacks will build. And Gachimuchi Champ will use that movement speed to get himself out to safety.
Gachimuchi Champ. Man, what a play. Just getting away on a slither of health. You do see what happens though? You take and fight underneath the T2 tower like that. Queen of Pain, super squishy. So if she blinks in, I mean, you've got 8-second cooldown on this ability. Die will... they got the damage to go through a hero like the Queen of Pain. So you got to be super cautious how deep you want to dive. And I think they'll be a little bit more hesitant and should be aware now that that is not a fight that they can take under a tower that deep.
Yeah, this is an unfortunate one. You just get hit by all the ultimates. Every single ult just clicked on Lincoln's head right there, and he is going to go down. Gets hit by Rupture, gets hit by Sonic Wave, gets hit by all sorts of things. Gets hit by the Sharpshooter as well. Did see Ember pick up the 1 second searing chains duration, which is interesting. Normally the Flame Guard DPS is the more popular one, I believe. Wants a little bit of extra control. Yeah, just kind of running over these dire heroes right now. You know, Lincoln's out of the fight. One of their bigger carries. Second highest net worth on the team. Fourth highest in the game. You know, I gotta say, this Spirit Breaker, Infamous Amos, definitely showing himself to be quite the player in this position 3 role. It's not very common that, you know, second highest net worth in the entire match is your position 3 behind your position 1.
Get out, guys. Don't stick around too long. Yeah, very nice. Get into the tier 3 tower. Able to reset now from Radiant. Yeah, the Spirit Breaker is actually surprisingly can farm relatively fast, just because if you play off your movement speed, then you can actually kill a whole lot of creeps because of the charge. So I wouldn't mind Infamous going into the Aghanim's Expert by the bottom triangle. We've got a fight breaking out.
Like we're gonna die there. I find Chill as well. Ooh, Bloodright, Ice Path. Chuchi Long Kwa. You just have to be careful. Dunker does have this scream coming up in about 30 seconds. In comes Infamous Amos, though! Randy Orton out of nowhere! What was that? Absolutely deletes Chill. Nether Strike onto Slain, and this cow is just a menace upon society right now. Running an absolute muck. Looking for this Ember next. The Spirit Vessel is procced, and there is no mana for this Ember to use to get himself out to safety. Amos with a triple kill, and Gachimuchi Champ cleaning up the 4th. Absolute monstrosity of a fight from the side of Radiant.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, this is now just a whole lot of objective damage now that Dire are going to struggle to be able to deal with. I mean, Medusa cannot buy back. That's pretty much her game done and dusted if she does.
He doesn't have Shard. That's why you picked that hero. That's why you picked that hero into that hero. You click the Rolling Thunder button, the other guy clicks the Rupture button, and then that's all she wrote.
And that might be looking like all she wrote for this series as well. UQ trying to put them further and further into the deficit.
Yeah, I mean, they do have the oh my god, this cow is so fast! Amos just running on screen out of nowhere and just deleting people. It's such a pleasure to watch. Double kill at the moment in the backline once again. Destroying both supports.
Catch 'em all.
Oh, that scream! Barely grabbing him with the Sonic Wave there. Amos with the triple kill on this cow. Gotta say, just so fast. Literally running it like Mach 20 from off screen and just slamming people, doing absurd amounts of damage. Does have his Sanjin Yasha completed to add insult to injury. And yeah, they're just looking to go for Megas here. 19k gold lead for this lineup, and I gotta say, they do have a couple of buybacks available. They do have the Medusa buyback if things get a little hairy and they look to be taking the throne, but getting buyback out of the enemy Medusa is definitely not ideal.
They need to protect the Bloodseeker.
Bloodseeker actually does end up going down here. Sharpshoot finishes off Sloth Tofu, but they do have the Ember available here, and double buyback available on the 2 members that are dead on the side of Dire.
It's a big buyback on Gachi. If they do stay a little bit too long and he dies again,
Proctor's Lincoln. Oh,
I think charge. Oh, yeah. Almost the same place.
He does have to really be careful here. Soy getting back.
They don't have Rupture for the Pango.
Indeed they don't, and in comes Lincoln's. BKB is procced by Gachi Michichamp. Lincoln's is going to be the first target here, but Rolling Thunder in the back line. No, he's actually gotten caught in Rolling Thunder. He can't get past the terrain. Oh no, that could be disastrous from Sloth Tofu. His one chance to use this ultimate without a rupture, and he ends up getting stuck in the terrain. Absolutely disastrous right here, and in comes the Bull, looking to get aggressive. Chill very low, the Nether Strike to finish him off, and now Tofu, the only one left alive. Buyback available on Mirana only, as they are going to look to throw this one out and clean this series up in a nice 2-0 fashion.
Wow. That was a very, very dominant performance from UQ Ultra Chads, looking to try and make it an incredible run through the playoffs. They want some revenge. We saw last season, unfortunately, UAW were able to take them down in the grand finals, and they're looking to try and make their way all the way through the upper bracket to the grand finals. They've still got 2 more series after this to do so, but for UQ Ultra Chads, man, what a performance from them. Very impressed considering we saw Left Right Goodnight last week, and I'm like, hang on a second, this is actually a really scary team when Child and Quad gets going, but unfortunately that was not the case today.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we saw some fairly okay plays. I think Lincoln's was probably the star player of this series. You know, really decent game on the Ember in game 2, but you know, as you mentioned, this Medusa just wasn't able to get online. You know, we look at the net worth, only 12k to Gachi Michichamp's 18,000 on a hero who, you know, Bloodseeker doesn't farm very well at all. He doesn't really have much in the way of farming. He just has Bloodright, which is his only wave clear ability, and it's on quite a long cooldown. You know, you compare that to someone like Deduso, who is just able to insta-clear waves with multi-shot, insta-clear camps. Super good at farming, and you know, it's just an absolute menace in the late game, unkillable with that mana shield. It definitely would have been their path to victory if this Medusa got online, but unfortunately she just stumbled a little bit. You know, you illustrated that point a lot throughout the game.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely didn't help with the skill build, but I'm not gonna say that was the main reason of why that game went as rough as it did in this series it did. But you know, the props have to be given to the boys from UQ. Ultra Chads had an incredible series. Their next opponent is going to be Looney Melb. And of course, you know, still for Left Right Goodnight, that's not going to be the last of them. They will be moving on to the losers bracket. It's going to be a lot more of a difficult run to make it into the grand finals, where they can potentially have a rematch. But nonetheless, we've had another day of the playoffs now done and dusted.
Yeah, certainly. Well, definitely, I do think we should have one last mention of our sponsors. Yep. But of course, folks, you were just talking about our knockout stage, and you know, if you do want to catch any of those games, make sure you are not only following at AU Esports League on, you know, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, wherever it may be, as well as on Twitch at AEL Uni and AEL Uni 2 to catch all the matches that are going to be playing. It's going to be a great knockout stage. I think we've got some great teams this season, so be sure to follow to keep up to date with all of those matches. And Ares, if you want to mention our lovely sponsors.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Chatime, a big shout out to them, of course, with over 120 Chatime tea breweries with a commitment to quality ingredients and a mix-ins of flair for innovative flavor combinations to brew nothing but the very best iced teas. We got AOC, which is a global leader in monitor display technology. For more than 50 years, AOC has delivered an exceptional viewing experience to millions of loyal customers worldwide. Indomie noodles are made from carefully selected ingredients, the best quality flour and fresh spices from the natural resources of Indonesia, giving it a unique and delicious taste. And Rig develops headsets delivering superior audio for competitive gamers and streamers at all levels.
Certainly. Well, thank you for that. This has been Kadius and Ares sitting on the casting desk for this beautiful best of 3 series. Congratulations to UQ Ultimate Chads, and they are one step closer to their 3rd consecutive grand finals in a row right here on AEL Uni. And as always, be sure to follow us at KadiusCast and Ares HD to catch what we're going to be up to. But until then, we'll have to catch you all next time. Thank you so much for tuning in.